Midnight Ramen is a minimally edited, live recorded podcast that takes place at midnight. Although Michael may not be consuming food, it's time to get your bowls out. It's chow time.
Welcome back to you. Big stride, sailing me. Free falling, just my enemy. Free from the things you say. It will all come back someday.
Good evening. It is once again midnight here where I'm at in the Midwest, boys. Oh, why is Cam 2 on? Hello, you are listening to Midnight Ramen with me, Michael. Here in the Midwest, as usual. I haven't said that in other ones, but now I am because I mean, that's the title of the episode, and they've been taking place in the Midwest. I mean, it's a little obvious as to the reason why. I hope y'all doing good. I think something got mixed up with the F here. I don't know what happened with my F. I don't know what happened. It effed up. Got effed up. Anyhow, I hope you've been doing good. It is now official. I would say it is, although it's December 1st now. That's the recording of this episode, which means a lot of stuff. I don't want to say that it's officially winter here in the Midwest. I mean, upper Midwest. I should be more specific. But it's definitely, it feels like winter is in full swing now because the first snow just came in, or the first, big snow came in, and it definitely looks like it's going to be sticking around for the foreseeable future. So, yeah, that happened on Monday. It is now Thursday. Or no, not Monday, Tuesday. So it's been 2 days since it really been happened. So here we are. And yeah, we're just jamming. When I was driving, when it was first snowing, it wasn't that bad. It took like an hour to get to work, but on the way back, and I left it was a Tuesday, so I left I had to work at my other job at 4, so I had to go from I left at I usually leave at 3:30, which gives me 30 minutes to get back home and do stuff and get to work. I am a little bit late usually, typically, and they're fine with it. But I left at 3:10 and to scrape off my car and to get to my car because the parking lot that I was in, they were cleaning it off to be able to actually use, make sure all the big snow is gone, so that way employees can park there and other people can park there. So that's that was the trade-off. So I had to walk a little distance to get to work. But it wasn't too bad. But the amount of snow, it was interesting because it was I don't know how much exactly it was. It said it was 4 to 7 inches, which isn't a whole lot. But it definitely didn't feel like 4 to 7 inches. It felt a little bit more, at least a foot. At least a foot of snow. And I think it had to have been at least a foot of snow. Not in a mean way, but it was quite a significant bunch. And it wasn't I don't think that it was too difficult to drive through. It's just, it was a real pain in the ass. It was a real pain in the ass. And on the way back, I'm I saw when I was driving back, I was with basically a convoy of, I don't know how many cars. I was kind of more in the front, but there was at least 6 or 7 other cars in front of me and a lot more behind me, but there was a huge convoy heading south. And it was crazy because we were essentially driving in the opposite lane. because of how bad the roads were. We were like probably this far away typically from the other drivers, going the opposite direction. It was that bad. And like this one straighter that I was on, that a lot of this was happening, the plows literally just went through. Like we had to come to a stop because the plow was going the other direction and could easily hit us if you weren't, thinking hard enough, or, didn't like get to the side or get out of the way. It was, it was bad. And for a lot of it, because they're on like in the middle lane divider, whatever. I mean, I wouldn't say divider, but like in between the lanes, to divide them, they have like a rumble on the middle. Like they just put in like rumble stuff, like, oh, it's like, oh, don't get stay in the lane. But I don't know why they do it, because like, especially if you have to pass someone, you have to hear it. And it's super annoying, especially when it's not winter, but what are you going to do? And it's like other side roads, you can just do that. You don't have to give a shit about. It is annoying. It honestly is a little bit annoying. But we were on that almost consistently, and it's just, I just like, I don't know. I don't think it's good for your tires. I don't think it's good to be on that. But yet we were on it almost the entire time. And I was like, this is stupid. It was really dumb. But the roads are a lot better now. I mean, obviously there's snow on it. You're driving a little bit slower, but you're not. But you are, but you're not. I feel like winter driving, the main thing about winter driving is knowing how fast, like feeling that you're comfortable at whatever speed. I think it's definitely a time not to be using cruise control, because unless if you're on like clean roads, no, don't do it. That's a bad idea. But you want to drive so that you're comfortable with how fast you're going. Because like if the speed limit, say it's like 50, you want to, I think in the winter, you want to be more consistent towards that. You can go 55, for instance. You can go 55, with like summertime or whatever. But like, make sure that it's riding fine. You're not approaching any bad spots with like there's snow drifts or like bad things that you can definitely tell, yeah, I'm going to slide on this. But you also, like, you can do 55, but make sure that you're not going to beef it. That's the main thing when you're driving on winter roads. And slowing down, you want to give yourself more time to do it, because obviously if you don't slow down fast enough, you're just going to either A, slide, or B, get into an accident. So, yeah. And one thing I really hated, when I think when it was like during that convoy on the way back, there was like a guy riding a truck's, I don't know if it was that guy, but there was like definitely cars like riding very close. And like, yeah, it's like, oh, you're right behind a truck. That's good. But if anyone in front of them, any of them in front, have like start slipping and sliding, everyone in back is just going to crash. Everyone. You're just going to make a huge pile up behind it, and it's not going to be good. Just a very big one. And that's why like I try to keep like a fair distance, period, because you never know when someone's going to act up. You don't know when someone's going to act up. Like one time, I think the one time that I really did like spin out was a few years ago. I was driving home with my girlfriend, and we had our cars loaded up, and I also had bacon in the car. This is, I think, I don't know how long ago it was, but I remember he was just walking around in the car because like that's kind of just how he did. And I think it was like the night before, it snowed a fair bit. It wasn't like, we've seen it before. We've seen this much snow. But the car that I had at the time, it it was a rear wheel drive, and rear wheel driving in the winter is ass. It's absolutely bad. It's so nasty. Because, like, for one thing, at stoplights, if you don't, like, especially with the car that I had, if I'd had no momentum at the green light, if I was, like, at a dead stop, like, at the very front, and I wasn't, like, and it was all of a sudden green, I had to take, like, at least 10 seconds to get going. Which you don't want to be doing. To, like, get actually moving. Because I have no momentum. And it's just horrible. And then if you whip out, it's like you like kind of like fishtail a little bit, so like trying to maneuver that. But when I did really spin out, I got very lucky. So when we were driving on the highway, and along the way, we saw a lot of like semis on the side of the side of the road. Well, it would be like this side. If you're watching it, it would be this side. But from my perspective, it would be this side. But on the passenger side, there was like a lot of them in the ditch, like kind of like L'd and just contorted to all sorts of directions. Like like at least 4 or 5 within like 20 miles, like 3 or 4 within 20 miles. It was a lot. Actually, I think it might be more. I couldn't think. I think it might have been more because there was a shit ton of semis just like in the ditch. Like, it was bad. It was horrible. But the main problem with the roads was that it snowed a fair amount, but then it was warm enough that it started to melt, but then it got cold, so it refroze, so it turned into ice. So we moved, I think, at like, I want to say 8:30, 9 o'clock, which is about typically when you want it, during the day, which is like, it's starting to get warm, but it's still kind of morning, but you want to be on the move when there's daylight, especially if you're doing a long trip in the winter. You want to be moving sometime in the morning. I think we left at like 9 because compromise. And you want to have it so that the roads are starting to melt and to make sure that they're not slippery, which they still were. And the main trouble that it was having, or that could happen, is at underpasses. So when like you have an overhead, like trying to go across the highway, or so people can go that way. Under that is where a lot of problems happen, where the the snow melts and turns to ice, because there's no place for it to go, and a lot of people interact there. So once you go past that, pure ice. So we went for about, I want to say, about 30 miles. 30 miles from Moorhead. It's about kind of near Rothsay. I don't know, it was a little bit before or after. I want to say it was after, because I feel like we passed it already. But then all of a sudden, I was just driving along, went down an underpass, went through like another underpass, and then all of a sudden, whoosh, I was driving in the right lane, and I did a full 360 into the opposite lane, and I almost hit the median. I was just like, oh. My girlfriend ahead of me, she was like driving ahead of me because she knows I had a worse driving car, so she just basically took point to see how bad the roads were. And we were like on the phone at the time. Just because there was a certain point, I think 100 miles out, like by Alexandria, which was a very good point, driving from like Fargo Moorhead to this Twin Cities, where like that's where a lot of change happens, for like, oh, there's snow here, now there's not, or the road shit here, but it isn't there. That's a good place to like, it's like not really halfway, but it's along that same area to where it's like, it's kind of halfway, but it's kind of not, but it's also is, but also not. But it's a good place to, like, if you want to stop it on the, when you're driving that direction or to and from, it's a good place. But once we got past there, roads were clean, absolutely clean, nothing. But before that, like, even after I, like, spun out and, like, almost hit the median, like, I was barely touching it. Like, just barely touching it. If I would have, like, didn't have my foot, like, on the brake, like, as hard, like, if I didn't have enough control, I would have just easily wrapped around that thing. And not like, oh, I'm dead. No, like, because it was, like, wire cables, I would have wrapped around that thing. Well, no, even afterwards, like, she was like, she got, like, I don't know, like a quarter mile away just, like, to see what was going on and stopped. But I was like, oh, it's fine. And then I started driving off again. And I was taking a lot of extra precautions afterwards, because if that shit happens again, I don't know how safe it's gonna be. And the speed limit on the highway is 70 miles an hour. And we're going like 40, 50. Like 40, 50 miles an hour tops. And we had trucks on both lanes going 70. It was the scariest, probably one of the most scariest times I've been driving. Like, it was bad. It was so bad. Because, like, thank God my car didn't decide to spin out again, because that would have been it. That easily could have been it. I would have been dead. Because there were definitely trucks, like, one here, like, you're trapped behind the semi. There's a semi right to your left and right, or left or right, and a semi behind you. If you beep it, you're dead. You are straight up dead. Doesn't matter. It was scary as hell. But yeah, once we got past that, it was a lot better afterwards, but up until that point, it was nasty bad. Nasty bad. And I think another place where the weather anomalies happen, and I say it's cursed. I say it's cursed for many reasons, and I want to get off of driving, but St. Cloud. If you're from St. Cloud, get out of there. Leave. Don't stay there. That place is a freaking void. I'm sorry. You may like it there, but do you really? That place is a void. I will go on record saying that, the people, I mean, the food and stuff is there is fine. I just don't get a good vibe from it. Something's off. Something feels very off about St. Cloud. St. Cloud, Minnesota. I should be more specific. If you're from there, sucks. Leave. Get as far away from that place as possible. I've had numerous, like, strange phenomenon occasions happen to me when I was driving past that place. One time, it's by a college town, which is, I would say it's part of it, but it's also not part of St. Cloud, but it is, but it isn't. It's one of those, like, suburb things, like Minneapolis, St. Paul, and all of those mini suburbs that are, like, kind of melded together into the Twin Cities area, or like Fargo, Moorhead, and Dilworth and stuff like that. It's kind of in that vein. You got your big city, but then, like, more or less parasites on top of parasites on top of parasites. So it's like, you don't know where one town ends and another begins. That's kind of, so I was, like, kind of by college town, I don't know which one. And there's this bridge, like a walking bridge, that's up I have no freaking idea why it's there. And I was driving, and it was just pouring rain. Like, I had my wipers just zooming, absolutely zooming. And crossed under that bridge, sunshine, straight up sunshine. It was so weird and freaky. I could not explain what the fuck happened. It was nuts. Like 1 second, I'm just like with my windshield wipers, and next second it's like, yeah, this is gonna be doing harm to your wipers because you got nothing on there. It was weird. Like, I hate that. Like, and I had other occasions where like I've had car troubles, and a call that I don't want to be talking about right now because no, I don't want to talk about it. Happened the exact same location when I was driving north or back from the Twin Cities to Fargo Moorhead. It was so scary. It, not in a bad way, but it was just like the exact spot twice. I've had bad things happen. One was car trouble. One was a bad phone call about terrible news. I'm not going to go into it now, but yeah. It was weird. It was, but then like people from the Twin Cities say that the Chris Lindahl billboards are like cursed or evil or something. No, he's got the Jesus on a cross pose. Like, he's doing that. Did Chris Lindahl die for our sales? No. But any place with a Chris Lindahl billboard, a true Chris Lindahl billboard, is blessed. And that's a fact. Cannot deny that is a fact. A Chris Lindahl real estate billboard. If you have one of those in the Twin Cities area, a true one, not like any other person on it doing the guaranteed offer thing. No, it has to be the man himself or the guy, because if it isn't, it's not real. I mean, it is. You are getting blushed by it, but you're not. It's not. No. And now, every time that I drive by there, there's like 2 or 3 of them. Or at least the last time I did it, there's like at least 2. And that was kind of nuts. Like, the same direction. It was a guaranteed offer. But yeah. And I can't remember what, I gotta find what it was. I don't remember what radio show or news. It was like a talk show, like ranking Twin Cities suburbs. And like, it was like, oh, why is that clear? Was it Stillwater or Clear? I can't remember. Those two are I don't know which one's which. One I like, one I don't remember if I've ever even crossed into. But like, Shakopee's not that great. It's like, my brother in Christ. It's like the best in the South Twin Cities. What are you talking about? It's the best. Because like, it's a springboard. Oh, if you want to go into the cities, here you go. But you also, it's like, you can leave. I'll leave it at that. You can leave. You can go into the Twin Cities or just straight up not. I mean, I feel like it's like a southern port, more or less. You can go to a lot of places from there. Like, it has a lot of access to businesses, but you can also, from there, you can go to, like, say, Eden Prairie. You can go to Edina. You can go to, you can go to Edina. You can go to Burnsville. You can go to a lot of other places. You can go to, like, say, Mystic Lake. You can go to a lot of, you can go to Valley Fair. You can go to the Walmart. You can go to Target. You can go to, this and that. You can go to Canterbury Park. You have a lot of access to things. You can go to the Renaissance Fair, which is a little bit out of there, or their bowling alley, which I have no idea how the fuck you can get to it anymore. I have zero clue how you can get to their bowling alley. And I used to bowl there a lot. I actually did used to bowl, but that I can get into that later. But because I was in the high school, when I was in high school, I used to bowl a lot. Um, that was more or less my fall sport, and really the only sport that I could do because a lot of the time that it was a lot of time I was playing instruments and practicing music and stuff because that's what I was trying to do. And I like doing sports like wrestling, track. I mean, bowling I really could do because like yeah, you could be spending hours and hours and hours each day learning to bowl, but like really the commitment isn't as great as showing up every day, making sure you're training. I mean, you got to know how to fucking throw a ball. And I don't want to mean bowling. It's fun. It's very competitive and takes a lot of skill, effort, and athleticism, blah, 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 consistency, muscle memory, all that stuff. But you don't have to show up every fucking day for an hour and a half, bowl a couple, like, you bowl a game or two, you read the lane, see how it reacts to your ball, see how the oil patterns work. There's a lot of deep stuff into it because like I'm talking about oil patterns and lane positioning and it's watching how your ball reacts and knowing where to throw and all that stuff. There's a lot that goes on in bowling. There's a lot. Knowing what your balls do. Knowing what your balls... Hold on, wait a minute. Knowing what your balls do. That's a little sauce. I'll drink to that. I'll drink to that, indeed. I'm holding a Spam cup. So my family has a lot of these. And I think it's because my family runs like a pizza ranch. So my family runs a pizza ranch and or at least my mom does. I mean I work there a little bit on the side. And every summer that's when the national convention is. And at the vendor fair you have like a lot of places like Tyson, a lot of food vendors like Coke. Coke's a big one. I guess Spam. I don't know why Spam. But we have so many of these Spam cups. I have no freaking idea why. And we used to have a lot of like, because my mom works in food. She's been working in food like even before I was born. Like we've had I think when she used to work at an Applebee's and we had like a shit ton of just like Coke, like the ones at the restaurant that you would get for like Coke at home. We had a lot of them. And then she like went to another thing and then we got like a lot of like Summit beer ones on like pint glasses. And we had like a shit ton of those for a long time. And then she works at Pizza Ranch and all of a sudden we get all these fucking Spam cups. It's just Spam. It's only Spam. Spam isn't that good. And I'm from the state that Spam was made in. Austin, Minnesota. I think that's the home place, or where is it? I think the museum is there. I'm not sure, but I think it is. Hold on. Let's look it up. Spam Museum. Spam brand museum in Minnesota. Admission free? Huh? Okay, it is in Austin. Let's take a... God damn. Look at all that. You got this looking like an IKEA. God damn. They got this. It's so cool. It's decked out with a shit ton of Spam. And I'm not saying like spam emails. No, I'm just saying Spam. There's spamly Spam. The flying pig. A lot of flavors of Spam. What? Hold on. I want to see what Is this the... No, that's not it. There's just a lot of flavor. They sell it. God damn. I mean, obviously, I like, really, you're at the spam museum. Of course they're gonna be selling spam. Con artists. Of course they'd be selling spam at the spam factory. I would hope. But yeah. Speaking of like school, so the one thing in school that I don't know if it's just like a local thing, or if it's like a nationwide thing, like in high school. I know, like, schools do pranks and stuff, but the one thing that was consistent at my high school, I think at least at our high school, and we always talk about it, no matter what class you're from, we always talk about the senior prank. The senior prank, that is, no matter who you are, whether you're a nerd, you're a jock, you're popular, you're unpopular, no matter what background you're in, the one thing that people can unite for when you are in the senior class is the senior prank. You have to, it's the holiest thing. Whether you're the valedictorian or a delinquent, everyone comes together to pull off that dang prank. I mean, obviously, the problem with senior pranks is that a lot of cleanup can happen and a lot of bad things can come out of it. And the trouble that my class really had, and in previous years before, I think there was a water gun fight, which inherently isn't that bad, but when you get to, like, kids with special needs, or just like freshmen or whatever caught up in the crossfire, and like with technology too, you can cause a lot of damage. Or I think there was like a flower fight, which I think after there was a flower fight, I don't think they cleaned that up. Like, at least for a week, there was just flour on the floor. It was nasty. It was disgusting. There was just flour all over. And not on like lockers, but like on the ground, there was just a coating of flour. Like, you could see, like scrape your finger across the floor. Yeah. You could make like a cookie out of that. You can make bread out of this. Like, no joke. But our main idea was, and there was a lot of ideas that were going around, but the main one, because it was very safe, the idea of it was super safe, and that the premise was do a yarn ball fight. Here's why I think that the idea behind it. It's safe enough. I was like, oh, you get that like, oh, food fighty-esque thing, that rowdy scene. But when you're cleaning it up, it's literally just string. If it gets like wound up around a locker, cut it. Easy. Put it into the trash, you're good. You can't really, like, even if you like make a whole lot of knots and stuff like that, easy. Zoop, cut, you're done. That's it. There's not a whole lot to that. I don't know what to say. And it'll be everywhere, yada yada yada, blah 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 blah. I mean, obviously, I don't think people would have made it so like you couldn't go into certain areas, because why would you? Yeah, I mean, you could like string it around some lockers and make basically a wall. But by the time that like someone would have noticed, it would be impossible. You have to basically set it up within a minute. Which, who's going to get that done? No one. And you're getting hit by a yarn ball. Like, you're getting hit by a pillow. Or paper towel. That's nothing. Like, even with, like, as much force as you can, it's like, oh. That's nothing. So that was the idea, and why we thought, oh yeah, it's safe. But before it was able to come off, someone apparently ratted it out. And I don't know who the hell did it. I don't know who the hell did it. But the, I think it was like, not the guidance counselor. It might have been the dean of students, who, no offense, is a jerk. Or during my time, I didn't think good of him, because he was definitely like, if you were buddy with him, he thought you were very good. But if you weren't, you're basically scum of the earth. Which, like, that's not how you should be running a business, or running your duty, and acting like he was the principal, which he wasn't, or the vice. He shouldn't have been doing the stuff that he was doing, in my opinion. But that's neither here or there. Anyhow, like, someone was at the top of the balcony, like, you know, getting ready to throw, and then they stopped him. It's like, and the thing was basically shot down before it even started. So immediately, everyone was just like bummed out, and like, we couldn't do it. So during lunch period, there was like attempts to get a food fight started, which none of those got off the ground. Like, maybe something was thrown here or there, but overall, nothing really happened. Nothing came out of it. And so basically, for the rest of the day, we were laughing stocks. It was a joke. We looked like idiots. And it was a Thursday, and it was the night of the final choir concert. And I'm going to say nothing happened during the concert, because no, it didn't. It was a good final concert. You know, I was in it, whatever. But one of my wrestling teammates, or one of my friends I knew that was from the wrestling team, was there. He was there. Basically waited till everyone was gone. Him, his brother, and a bunch of his brother's friends let in a lot of pigeons into the high school and let them run free. It was an idea that I know was talked about, but among the other ideas that were in like the group chat, or like the Facebook page or whatever, I can't remember, that were like, oh, what are we going to do for it? That was an idea, but it wasn't the idea that people weren't really thinking about it. And I think it would only happen because the other one didn't happen. The yarn fight didn't happen. So what they did, they waited till everyone got out of the choir concert. Like, you know, all families here and there saying, like, congratulating, you know, this and that. They're just kind of, I think they waited in the locker banks or in the locker room, but I think that's probably where they kept them, and waited till everyone was gone, even the custodians. And then they released the pigeons. And throughout the night, because, you know, they're pigeons, they desecrated the whole locker bank, and probably a good chunk of the school too. It was covered. I didn't go in because I got there. I usually go in early to school. I usually went in early for school. Like, school started at like 8:30, but I always get there at like at least 40 minutes before the bell, like the, hey, let's go to class, guys, before that bell starts. And I was already late to realize what happened. Because people apparently were going in there and saw the doors were locked, or saw that, like, they got into the first set of doors, but when they got to the second set of doors, there was bird poop everywhere. We basically had to take everyone and move them over to this hockey arena or into the gymnastics center across the street. And basically, school was canceled for the day. Which sucked at the time, because I was in a full-on suit, because I was doing the morning news that day as like a final goodbye, you know, just to do like a Ron Burgundy thing with my co-host that I would do it with. And I was just in a full on like you know, top, like blazer, whatever, dress shirt, tie, dress pants. I mean, I don't really have that good dress pants. I think it's, oh, I have, oh my God, I have the exact one that I was wearing. Hold on. Give me a second. I gotta get this. I have the exact blazer. I was wearing this blazer. This. That morning. It was bad. I mean, I obviously took it off because, like, we were in the gymnastics center and we just kind of messed around and did stuff in there. I don't know what we did, but yeah, I was wearing this the whole time. It was crazy. And it was the amount of birds and poop in the high school was so bad. They had to get a falcon out, and it costed over like at least $2,000 to clean it up. Like over $2,000 to clean up that bird poop. The whole weekend. I think and good thing it was on a Friday because I think it took them the whole weekend to do it. It was kind of nuts. It's kind of, although it was horrible, it's kind of, in retrospect, it's funny, but it did basically, it killed any heights for the next couple of years because in the following years, at least in the year afterwards, like their prank was parking bad, was just intentionally parking like dumbasses, which like, that's what you did on a regular basis. Like you're high schoolers, you don't park good at all. Like none, like a lot of you just like, you'll park in the middle of the lane if you can. You'll do it. Goofballs. Absolute goofballs. But it was out in the country enough that you always had at least one or two guys that would bring in their tractors. And that was always the funniest shit. That was the funniest thing to see. It's just some guy driving their tractor to school. And just see a tractor parked, like multiple, it would almost be multiple tractors, but like different ones with just some of the weirdest political stuff on it sometimes. But it was funny to see them just because like they're taking up multiple spots. Yeah, they may be parked bad, but like who's gonna stop them? It's so funny. It was that on the last day, especially that's when it usually happened on the last day, separate to like any other senior pranks. It was always the last day that they would be driving their tractors. The country boys would be driving their tractors. I always love that shit. It was so funny. Well, yeah. I know that was, and of course the guy that did it, my friend didn't. I know I don't think he walked. I know he graduated, but I don't think he walked. Which like fair. And of course they had to like do reprimation, you know. I think they had to do some payment for it because it was a lot of damage. It was a lot, not like, I don't know if it was property damage or like, you know, cleaning, whatever. Because like, that's damage. I don't fucking know. Obviously, I don't think they got sued or anything, but the family got sued, but no. And, but like, as much as it was, like, you kind of deserved it, but my main thing was actually during prom. I don't know who, I can't remember, I don't want to be giving out names, but I remember I didn't go to it because it was bad. My senior prom took place in a goddamn bowling alley, and they literally trashed the place. I don't think that place exists anymore, or the place that they went to exists, period, because it was like one of the mainline bowling areas that you would see in the Twin Cities. It was kind of like that, but it wasn't anymore. I think it went to like its own thing and like own separate like thing, but it was still but it wasn't with the brand anymore. I think it was a Brunswick. It used to be a Brunswick, but I can't remember. Which is now a Bolero. I don't know. But it was like, it was that, but it wasn't that in name or branding, is what I should be saying. They legit trashed the place. And someone, and I don't know who, there are people like getting into like this bar area, you know, that has alcohol, or like people trying to attempt to get to the alcohol. And someone was giving out I don't know if it's Adderall or Perks or just, I think it was Perks. It might have been Percocets. Or it could have been, I don't remember what drug it was. It was along those lines. Wait, no, it was Xanax. I think it might have been a Xanax. And someone overdosed. Nothing happened to the guy that sold it. That was in my class, but you know, I guess. I mean, who cares? Someone overdosed. Oops. Oh no. And slap on the wrist. nothing wrong there. They got to walk. But my buddy, who was the only one that was a senior, definitely didn't get to walk and had to pay a lot of money. Or had to do a lot of stuff to, you know, pay for the damages. Which obviously was right, but like still. Someone was selling drugs, which is actually a lot more illegal. I mean, yeah, property damage is illegal, but someone is literally selling drugs and the person overdosed on it. And if they would have died, what would have happened? Yeah, I did not do it. I actually had a gig that night, and I got paid $50 instead of spending, I don't know, hundreds of dollars to get a day, go to prom, get a suit, get all that crap. I saved a lot of money by not doing that, and I don't regret I don't regret missing it. I don't. It was a pointless event, and I don't care. I rather would have worked. And I was doing a music gig, so like, and really where I got the taste of doing audio mixing stuff. So kind of the day or event that actually got me more into audio, like got my ears like, hey, I have a literal ear for mixing audio. That was literally the day that I got kind of into that. So I'll say this: if you want to go to prom, do it. Absolutely do it. Go nuts. Go bonkers. Go do whatever. However, don't feel obligated to go. If you know the place is shady, know where you're going. Know where you're going for prom. If you're going to, like, say, like in the Twin Cities, or if you're in the area of the Twin Cities, if you're going to the Mall of America, awesome. If you're going to a place with a good ballroom, cool. But if you're going to a literal bowling alley with a bar, you know shit's up. Something's not gonna go right. You know someone's gonna be doing just the stupidest shit. And that's all I really have to say about that. That's all I had to say about that. Jenny, why'd you have to go cheating on me? Jenny, the kid is not my son. Wait a minute, that is my son. Billie Jane, it's not my lover. But it was. I don't know what I'm trying to do, Forrest Gump voice. I look to my side, and I'll tell this as I'm opening a pack. A pack of magic cards. I got into magic with a bunch of my friends. My cousin got me into magic. And he's like a year older than, or like a grade older than, actually two grades older than I was. And I knew a lot of people in the grade above me that were all like were his friends and stuff like that. And once he got into high school, like before that, my cousin was like an absolute loner. But once he got into high school, he met a lot of nice people, and I think technically I think he did meet his. I know he met his girlfriend, but I don't know how far they are. And but they've basically been together for the longest time, like the longest time, and a lot of his friends were already my friends like in middle school, because like a lot of the people that I hung out with were like a grade above me typically, but I didn't know this, but they played Magic the Gathering and like Yu-Gi-Oh and like other card games. And one day I they always went to the library in town, and on Tuesdays, and it would be Magic Tuesdays. So people would be playing Magic at the library. And it wouldn't matter what age you were. You could be like a middle school or high school. It didn't matter. You could be graduating and whatnot. But yeah, there would always be people playing Magic at the library on Tuesdays. And I would go frequently. And it just grew. I just gained a love for the game. And yeah, that's kind of how it happened. And also in the high school, like one of my friends would always like at lunchtime, we would always play Magic at the lunch table and spend lunch period or our time during lunch playing Magic the Gathering. It was fun. It was very, very fun. Scrap Trap Trawler, Sky Strike Officer, and Recruitment Officer. So nothing really in this pack. Oh well. Oh well. But I just wanted to do one pack and see what was going on. So there was nothing really in that one. And I got another box of Brothers War. I did a box opening I did open a couple packs the other day, but I got a new one when I was doing some Black Friday shopping, and I wanted it's mainly a string box. So like if I get enough or I do like a thing, I'll open a pack. And it's so I have this for like a long time so I can open these until like say the next set comes out or whatever. It's like, oh, hey, open a pack and I'll do it. Or if like enough people subscribe, which you should subscribe to me on Twitch and I will probably open a pack. Or if you do if there's a big raid or whatever, hey, guess what? Or drop a follow. Because that's a good thing too. Not only on Twitch and on other platforms like YouTube and blah 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 blah. That'll come up at the end. And although I look at my time and it says I'm getting close, it's not there yet. But if there's a big enough thing, I'll definitely will open a pack of Magic cards. It's opening Magic packs is basically fucking gambling. In a way, and this is a very good gambling set. Because you can hit big. You can hit big off of these. But also you can have a lot of stinkers. You can have very bad stinkers. I think the biggest one that I had, I don't know if I think I did open it a couple of days ago, was this card. It was a Phyrexian Flesh Gorger. I think that one's at least like $15 at least. I don't know. I haven't looked at the prices recently, and I don't care to look at them. As of the recording of this podcast, I think it's like $15-20 on a TCG Player. But that's enough. I think that's enough of Magic for tonight, though. I do love the game, though. But how I got into it was because of my friends and stuff like that. And it was a very good way of staying connected to those people. And it wasn't only with like Magic, but it was also with like D&D. Like the same group of people got me into that too, like into Yu-Gi-Oh! And like I know a couple of the people, like one guy I work with even now, like he was part of that group, especially, we used to also play before school started. Like he was one of those guys, and we just like reminisce, like occasionally reminisce about those days, and like, and some of the boys that some of the guys we'd always play with, and that, and like sometimes on buses, like bus rides to like pep band and stuff like that. I know there was a bunch of us that always played. Playing card games on the bus is hell. It's funny. It's so janky, because what we'd always do is like we'd have like a flat surface, like at the time we had like Chromebooks that we could use, but like a lot of times we just use like big folders or just like our backpack or something like that, just a flat surface, or even the seat itself we would use and just play. It was so janky. And I think the way that the main card game that we did if we were doing it on the bus was Yu-Gi-Oh, because like you're limited to a certain amount of stuff on the field. Which was good because like you only had a limited amount of space, but even so it was crazy. It was so nuts. And I do miss those days, but like, man, playing it on the bus playing those was just like, it was so wacky. I do miss the boys though, the gang. I do miss all of them. I do miss them, and I hope they're doing well. And yeah, I need to catch up with some of them, because like I know some of them still are in town or like are around, and even at my other job, my main job, I know one of the guys that I know that I talk to, even though I'm an AV, I talk with like a guy in IT who went to my high school, even though he's like a grade younger than me. Like, we just talk a lot. Whenever I see him, we hang out for like a couple minutes and just talk and just reminisce or stuff like that. And since I'm talking about drinking, or like did like a little drink there, I'm drinking Mountain Dew Gold, which I have Baja Gold, which was the exclusive flavor, or one of the 3 summer flavors of Baja. Which, if you're listening to this before it happens, and I'll probably make a video out of this one, or not of this, but out of the what's going to happen. But if you're listening to this early, on Sunday, December 4th, 2022, will be the Mountain Dew 2022 review. The Dew Review 2022. Or 22 Dew Review. Or wait, no, Dew Review 2022. Damn it. No, it's Dew Review 22. That's it. Because it rhymes. But yeah, it's happening. And what I plan, so last year was a litmus. I'll put this in preference. So when I'm judging Mountain Dew, because like, if you're drinking a lot of Mountain Dew, you don't want to be doing a lot of it. You don't want to be doing all of it. All of it sucks. Last year was a literal litmus, like, just a trial, more or less a trial run. It's not a trial run, but it's official. We drank too much Mountain Dew. Me and my buddy Cam, or Outsider, as he's known on the interwebs, we drank way too much Mountain Dew. And for the next couple of days, I even mentioned him as like, I am literally like scarfing down the leftovers, like at a rapid pace. And he's like, I know, dude, I am like addicted. He's like, I need a Mountain Dew right now. It's horrible. It's horrible. And that's why, like, I did it. So this year, I'm not doing like all of them again, because that was just nasty. That just sucked. I'm doing the ones that either came out this year. I'm doing ones that came out this year, store exclusives that or exclusives that I missed, like Applebee's, B-Dubs, Buffalo Wild Wings has one, and like store exclusive ones like Purple Thunder, Overdrive, that I can get my hands onto, or like Whiteout, which is one that I wasn't able to get to because like I couldn't find it anywhere. On the day that I was looking for it, I legit could not find it for the life of me. And it's like it's not uncommon to find that one, but that day I looked everywhere. Nowhere had it. Nowhere had it. And the thing with the Applebee's flavor, which I can't remember what it's called, and I don't know if they still have it, which is a bad thing. I should really figure that out before I actually do it. Is that when I got it, they gave me, I don't know if they gave me either a lemonade or just regular Mountain Dew. Because it was very new at the time, and they kind of said that they had it, but they also didn't. Like when I actually will go out and do it this time, I'm probably going to be calling stores to actually make sure that they do it, because I'm going to be pissed if they can't do it. I'm trying to I want to make a good video, and I'm testing out the flavors. Basically, it's a clean, whatever flavors that I have reviewed or whatever, they still count as their own separate things. But this review is going to be the definitive review of all of the ones this year and the ones I didn't get. And I'm going to rank them and compare them to a couple previous ones. And the main two that I'm comparing it to, the top, I think it was like some of the top two are just like good common flavors, is Voltage, which was our top dog, and I think Code Red, because Code Red it's a flavor, it's good. It's not bad. It's a good alternative flavor, or alternative flavored Mountain Dew. It's better than actual Mountain Dew in my opinion, but it's a good alternative flavor, just in general. Sorry about that. But yeah, I'm basically comparing the new ones to that one, and if anyone can beat the top dog of Voltage, and I think I'm not going to go ahead. I'm going to unbiased opinion. I'm going to go into an unbiased opinion, but right now, I think the one that can potentially usurp Voltage is Purple Thunder. My reasoning behind it is because I think Purple Thunder is similar to Blackout in a lot of ways. It's very similar, and Blackout is just probably one of the best, and it's coming back for a limited time. It's coming back in January of 2023, and I'm freaking excited. The thing that scares me a little bit is like when I do review 2023, odds are is that Mountain Dew's probably going to be expired. Odds are that Mountain Dew's going to be expired, and that's gonna be rough. And if Mountain Dew does keep releasing flavors at the pace that they have been, like this year, and I would say 2021, but I know 2022 they released a shit ton. But if they keep releasing flavors like they have been, oh, it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be very nice. It's the flavors they are coming, and it's gonna be awesome. But some of the exclusive ones, because one that I could have freaking had if my sister wasn't an asshole, was Typhoon. And she had the chance to taste it. I mean, I could have bought it off of the Mountain Dew store for a limited time, which when I tried to go buy it, it was literally like a day or two after they stopped doing it. I was so pissed. And then she's like, yeah, I was at the Mall of America and they gave me one. And I said, this tastes just like fruit punch. And then I threw it away. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? I was seething with rage. Like, I wasn't like full out like yelling mad, but I was like, get out. Leave. Don't talk to me. In a very comical way. I had some humor to it, but like, leave. Don't talk to me. Like, what you just said to me was like you could walk in, like, you basically just said slurs. Don't do that. Do not say that to me. That is offensive. It's like, yeah, even if the flavor is bad, it's like you had the chance to do that and you didn't give it to me. And she holds it like a joke. It's like, I will kill you. Metaphorically. It's like, I will kill you if you do pull that shit again. And like, I'm not really, I say that, but I think it's like more of like, in the vein of regular show. It's like, oh, oops, Mordecai accidentally killed Rigby for stealing his blank. Oh, now he needs to fight the devil to get him back. You know, it like that kind of way. But yeah, now I'm just going off into tangents. So I should kind of bring it together. I should bring it together. I have no idea what I'm doing anymore. Anyhow, yeah, I think I'll probably end it here. So I hope y'all had a good time. I talked quite a bit about stuff. I mean, and honestly, I could talk a lot about Midwest stuff at any time. Oh, actually, you know what? Now that I had the thought, and I was on the vein of Mountain Dews, I am in a town where we have multiple different gas stations with exclusive Mountain Dews. We have a Casey's, which has Overdrive. We have Holiday, which has Purple Thunder, and Quick Trip, which has like a goji strawberry lemon flavor, which I think I'll probably have in this batch because I'm going to compare the three of those together because to see which gas station flavor is the best. And obviously, in my opinion, right now, I'm going to say it. It's Purple Thunder. It's Purple Thunder. Hands down. Purple Thunder, probably Overdrive, and then the goji berry one. Although the goji berry one isn't that bad. But yeah. Anyhow, I hope y'all had a good time. Wrapping it up here again. Getting back to that circle. Wrapping up here. I hope y'all had a good time. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the show, share the pod, whatever. Share it on whatever thing you can. Everything you want to. Anything helps. It's always good. Feel free to follow me on Twitch, on YouTube. Those are the main two, I would say. And other podcasty thing, whatnot, or Spotify when I get to it, or whatever. But yeah. I like to thank Gradients for the use of their song Used to It off of the album The Call. I almost forgot it. For the use of the song Used to It off of the album The Call. The boys are doing good. I think if it's actually, yeah, since they are my university is doing like stuff on Friday. It's like the celebration of arts, which is a big thing, a very big thing for the universe or like the arts department. Like the first Friday of December, they always have like a huge concert, or like right before finals, or like the Friday before finals. I can't remember exactly which two, or whatever one of the two comes first. The first, I don't know if it's the first Friday before finals, or if it's, I don't remember. But the first Friday of the month of December, they have a big concert where they have like your band, the choir. I know a lot of them are going to be participating in that, and I wish them the best of luck. And I know some of the people some of the boys from that are going to be participating in it, and I wish them the best because I love my boys. Consensually. They're very good boys. Thanks, Gradients, again, for the use of your song. And thank you, too. Thank you for listening and doing all that stuff. And yeah. But as I take this last same sip of Mountain Dew Baja Gold on this one, I have a lot of it. And I think it's pretty good. I hope y'all had a good time. I really do. As I get to the bottom of the spam glass, I will say goodnight. Hey, it may not be midnight here. It is midnight somewhere. But until next time, I hope y'all had a good time. And you know what? Yeah. See you until next time. Bye-bye.
We're just when I needed you. I see from a different view. Oh, baby, now don't be scared.